Hello, hello, hello. Good day. Gonna do some more honing. So I got the rest of these 4 razors ready, off camera. Surprisingly easy. These are very, very good razors. Whoever ends up with these will be very happy. They run laps just really, really finely. They really do. Good steel as well, man. Here's my old grip thing I said about. It's sort of like, well, 1940s, 1950s, and it's one of the best ones I've ever found. Like I said, I was banging into my grip strength, and I was into my strength training for, well, I have been since I've been 13. This time of year I always get a bit more bang on it, and yeah, it's my new addition. I can shut it all the way, it's no problem, but I generally don't do that because I'm getting old now, so it's more just about holding it. You know, us men, we like strengthening our wrists, don't we? You know, there is a time in sort of true and time tested remedy for that. These are called Terry's wrist exerciser. I like doing my hand bicep with these. I keep it in my jacket pocket, and then when I walk the little one to school each day, just pick hand. Get many a weird look around here, but I'm used to that. Yeah, it's good, man. Leather as well, that's what drew me to it. Nice bit of leather, I'm not touching plastic or anything. Right, so today we're going to have a go at this one. Look, she's hard stone. She's fine, she's hard. I know the nail test don't really mean something, but it does to me a little bit because I do it with every single stone. And it's a good gauge to see how hard it is. And it's barely leaving sort of like a real trace, really. So we're going to give it a whirl. I've got this little Charnley Forest sort of slurry stone. But I'm not going to use that today. What I'm going to do is because this is quite a precious stone to me. I paid good money for this as well, like, and it's a long old stone, like you can see. It's a big old stone, but it's quite thin. Like, don't get me wrong, that's got many a still use in it. It really has. I need to make a box for it. I got the original box for it, but this was an oil stone, and I just can't. I don't even like touching the bloody box. It's just covered in old grimy oil. So I've got some oak somewhere. I'm going to make a nice little box for it because it definitely deserves it. And a nice little sort of home for the old slurry stone as well. Ta-da! Look pretty, wouldn't it? So what I'm going to do, and I'll be doing this for the entirety of this stone. I will activate the top quick, but to create the slurry I'm just going to create it with this on that and then spray it off of that onto that. Just because I want to preserve this stone as best as I can. Right, we're going to do the same old jazz as we did yesterday. Well, it weren't yesterday, but you know, same old jazz as we did with the other setup. We're going to cheat again. So I did the same with these. I used Captain up to the 1500, and then I kind of did the 1500 hone in, and then I wanged the Captain off and put the 3M 33 plus Scotch tape or whatever it's called on there. So it just changes the angle ever so slightly, so we know we're hitting the edge. And we're going to add a little bit more angle to it again, so we know we're hitting the edge with this stone. So we know when we shave, you know, it's this edge on the very apex of the bevel. You know, you could, you know, if you wanted to, and you couldn't be bothered to do this way, there's other ways that you can make sure. You know, you could get it up to the 5,000. Oh, sorry, yeah, they still took up to the 5,000. I'll show you the edge on these. You can see it's nice steel on the 5,000. Yeah, so another way, you don't have to do it this way. If you wanted to make sure you've got this edge, you could just very, very lightly deaden it and then reactivate the edge on the old finishing base stone. But yeah, it cost me more time, so frankly I can't be bothered because this is just all about testing. Let's see if it's still. I tested all these razors after I stropped them, and they were all popping. it's quite mad to see that all these razors are popping hairs quite well on the old 5000. Tiny bit lacking in the middle there. Or was it just the way I hit it? Tiny bit lacking in the middle, I think. But as you can see, it's quite a healthy HHT going on, especially for a 5000. So we shall have a little looky. Got the coffee on the go today. It's a big old mug. Don't know how much it is, about a litre. Right. Let's press the old button. Just quickly have a little glance at this 5000 edge. It's not perfect, but it's definitely good enough because it's popping hairs. Like you can see the different layers on the bevel we've got going on. Oh, yeah, I nearly caught my finger there, trying to get that little bit off the edge. There's a bit of a dead spot there. That might mean, yeah, there isn't there? A little bit of a dead spot on there. We won't worry about that for this. On the whole, looks very well. Can't quite see that dead spot. Let's see if we can find it on the other side. Oh well, like I said, I should have checked that yesterday. But for the purpose of this, I think I'm just going to ignore it. It's around there. I'll tell you what we could do. We could just use another razor. Let me just quickly check that. I did check them all before stropping, but sometimes things happen, don't they? Yeah, so yeah, what we do is we just use this one, and I'll take that one back. Let's separate that one. I'll take that one back quickly, maybe to the 1500. See if we can't get that little bit out. Might as well. Right. Let's go for that. Let's activate the stone. Like I said, this was an oil stone. But we ain't got no sun on it today, so I don't reckon it'll gather it up. Quite an easy way of finding out whether your stone, if you're just not sure it was used as an oil stone years ago, on a warm day, just go outside, put it on a table, and it'll start sweating the oil out. And if you put some detergent like dishwasher soap on it, it'll actually help draw it out. It's one of the good ways of helping the oil get out, but it'll kind of always be in there a little bit. It's a beautiful stone. You've got the sun today, but it's still a very pretty stone. The purple's actually come out a little bit more than the water. Oh, alright. At least didn't get it in the face that time. If you do this slurry stone, this little sort of Nagora slurry stone, if you want to call it that, on this actual base stone, I tell you what, it doesn't have to take a long time to get a decent amount of slurry on. It really does. But it goes to show how hard the stone is. years ago these used to get used a lot for like carpentry stuff, and people used to kind of moan that they sort of take an awful long time to get going. So when the sort of German homes and some of the American homes started coming over, a lot of the Charnley Forests kind of got abandoned really, because they were just sort of deemed a bit sort of slow. And then the mine eventually shut down. I'm not saying the mine shut down because of that, but I don't suppose it would have helped really, would it? Because if you're not selling as many as you were, it's a shame because they're pretty stones. But I guess if you're just a carpenter or you know, somebody that honed razors on and off every day of their life nearly back in the day, you'd want to be most efficient, wouldn't you really? I wasn't surprised it mattered about how pretty the stone was, like it does to a lot of us. And when I was researching Charneys years ago, they said you don't want one that's got too much going on with it. Like, because you can get some really beautiful Charnley Forests, but if they've got too much going on them, supposedly they're more prone to be kind of not razor safe. Always interests me that it creates nearly a white slurry. There's no hint of sort of green in it really, when you'd sort of think it would be. See if I can't just activate the top a bit. I forgot to do that. Give this a little bit of a whirl. So this is not the first time I've run a razor over it, but I've barely touched it. I can't feel sort of any form of grittiness or anything like that, which is always the first initial kind of plus. Tremendously long laps, sort of throw me out a bit. I'm used to Shapton Pros, which are, well, they're kind of normal bench size stone, but they're quite large, aren't they? The dude I bought this from, I think I paid about £100 for it, so it's not like a load of money, but it definitely felt like it at the time, because you're taking that leap of faith a bit, aren't you, as well, like, meaning like, is it actually going to work as a finisher? And the dude I bought it off said about how he was very tempted to cut it in two, but I'm glad he didn't, because it's a natural stone. Like, meaning I think it's been cleaved instead of cut. But at some point, like, the sides have been obviously straightened. Feels nice though. It's got nice feedback. It's got a slightly different sound to the one yesterday. I keep saying yesterday. Just need to make a box for it so it's nice and stable. The old slurry's not really changing colour that much, so you know it's a slow cutter, which razor kind of level Charneys, they're kind of known for that, from my understanding. They are known to be nice and slow, which in some way makes them quite a good finisher, especially if you're a bit sort of new to finishing, we're saying, because it means you've just generally got less chance of messing something up if you have to. I can see there is a slight change in that slurry now though. It's definitely got a little bit darker. Doing quite slow, deliberate strokes, mainly because the stone's wobbling a little bit. I probably would go. I tried to put it in my stand thing, you know, the one that's got the screws, but it's too long. So I've got another project. I've got some big clunky bits of oak out there, so we'll find something nice. Got a little story for you about the old sort of British stones. So historically we're quite well known to have wooden boxes for our stones. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I assume many a country did as well. I don't think it's a UK thing, but we've got a lot, you know, like a lot of them. And one of the reasons is because apprentice coffin makers, that was what they used to do. They used to make boxes for stones, practicing how to make coffin boxes, and or at least that's one of the things. Hence why the tops of the stone boxes nearly always had the same tops as what we used to use for the coffin boxes. Because there was no need to make it the way they did, like the tops. Not so much the bottom piece, because the bottom piece was just sort of drilled out and chiselled out bit of wood, but the top part. The slurry's lasting quite a long time. The sun's not out today, but if it did pop its head out, that stone would light up now. You can see how the water's really got into it, and the dude I bought this off, he's well, I think he said on the face of it that he was a razor restorer, but I'm not too sure how much I trust him with that, frankly, because he said this was flat, like, you know, flat stone, and it totally weren't. It actually had quite a lot of grinding to be done on it, and I bought a razor off of him and it had a split in it. They didn't mention it, nothing, and I was just a bit like, maybe he's not as honest as I thought he was. It feels a bit different now, the slurry's going. like with stones, it's always been my sort of goal to get a decent Charnley, a decent kind of Welsh slate, a decent Scottish stone, which is the water of air, and a decent German hone, which I still haven't really got. Like, even if one of these stones is a German hone, meaning like one of my dark stones, it's kind of not in a way, because I've got no way of saying it actually is other than I think it is, which isn't the same as saying as it is. And obviously like getting a J-net. So the only one I'm really missing now is a German hone. But I'm a patient man. One will come my way. I'm just not up for spending £400 or £500 on a bloody stone. Funny old thing, innit? Back in the day they were like one of the cheaper stones. And there were just tens and tens of thousands of them. You imagine how many of them stones are still sat in old boys' sheds across Europe and, well, obviously America as well, because they imported a tremendous amount into Americas. Oh, that feels lovely now, that does. We'll do a few more laps and then I'm going to wash the razor off, wash the stone off, and because I really do want to see what there is. A few places you can still go where Charnley Forest sort of stone originated from, and there is a few places that you can go, but it's so like overgrown now, and you'd be sort of just completely potlucking it. Like, there's sort of no bare stone, if you know what I mean. Well, it probably is in places if you live local to it, but I might end up going there one day. It's not too far from me, really. Right, feels lovely, sounds lovely. Don't feel like we've had any kind of like oil coming out of it really as well, so that's kind of like a nice sign. Oh, I didn't like to set razor, didn't I, probably? It does feel quite glass-like now, but you can still feel a bit of a don't imagine you'd have to sort of flatten this stone very often. Right, let's have a look. Get the old stamp in there quick, come on. Definitely sort of imparted an edge on it, isn't it? Bit hazy, a bit scratchy. Kind of can't see any damage to the edge. There's definitely no sort of chipping or anything. From my understanding, like Charneys are a bit one of the most sort of hit and miss UK stones, but then a lot of people say slate can be quite chippy. And I have found that with some of the super hard slates. Right. Yeah, it still feels really sharp. Bit lacking on the toe, but it's kind of the weak spot on all these razors actually. I think it was whoever honed them before sort of imparted a bit of weakness into the toes. Right, I'm going to go strop it and then I'll come back. Right, back again, bit of stropping. Let's just put some water on that, see if we can't catch it whilst the sun's just starting to try and come out. Right. One of wife's finer hairs. I can barely see it, man. Get my eyes tested. Yeah. Yeah, so it's popping hairs well enough, well up to that point anyway, for me to think, yep, it's passed these kind of tests. Tiny bit lacking there, but That is where it was lacking before. Yeah, tiny bit near the heels, not that great, but I think it's ready enough to see if it shaves though, isn't it? Right, well, I'm happy with that. So that's another one we can have a little whirl at. I probably won't shave with all of these, to be fair, like on camera I mean, just because there's so many bloody stones to test. And it'll just slow me down getting them tested really, because I kind of need to release the razors. But you can see like I put dots and stuff on it before, weak spots. Right, well I'm happy with that though. That's my first real go using this Charnley Forest, like kind of without just having a little play. Really nice stone. I'm happy I got it. Right, have a good day lads. I hope you're well enough. And I've got more razor stuff to do today. Toodaloo. Have a good one.